What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I thought I might give you guys an updated tour of my collection. Some new things have been added since the last time I did this, and the last time it was like, I don't know, what was it, like 4 months ago, something like that? Yeah, a lot of stuff has changed. Yesterday, or however many days ago, I did a video about my setup, and I told you guys, everything at that point was in disarray. I got everything moved back. This is normally how I have it. Knives that are either out here to be used as an example or are upcoming for review are laid out right here. My stuff generally stays in the box, and it generally stays right there. But right now, so that there's good lighting on everything, I have it moved out here to the center of where I normally review the knives. So I'm going to go through this. I think I have this filled now. Every last knife that I own should be either on top of or inside of this box. I will go through every drawer. Not every drawer is full of knives. It's full of other stuff. I'm actually running out of room. I'm gonna have to get I'm gonna have to get something else to actually store this stuff in. My wife got me this box. I don't know what it's called, but I did find it on Amazon. So I do have an Amazon affiliate link down in the description if you want to purchase this this item for yourself. Absolutely, it is very well made. It has served me very well, and it actually does have a glass top. Which is cool. I like to keep my EDC rotation in the top of it. They're going to move this stuff off here real quick. We'll get to that stuff here in a sec, but just so you guys can see, I like this because I have my rotation right there at the top, or my primary rotation. Now, a lot of these knives don't get used as much as some of the other ones, and I have knives that I use a lot that are not in the top drawer, but in terms of my actual carry knives, save the hinder, which is down here. These are all the knives that get carried, I would say, the most in terms of like my general, like my office carry stuff. So you guys know there's the Lion Steel TRE. We have the Zeba knives gosh dang it. Jeff, I always forget, this was a gift from Jeff. It's either the M3 or the M5. I always forget, and I'm so terrible with numbers and letters. But this was an amazing custom knife gift from Jeff. So that one definitely gets carried. We, of course, have the Spyderco Shaman. Love that knife. You guys know how I feel about that knife. Spyderco PM2. Doesn't really need a introduction. You guys know what that is. Keeping the camera down so you guys don't see what's in the second drawer yet. We've got the Hogue Ritter RSK MK1 G2 that definitely gets carried a lot. We have another gift from Jeff that gets carried quite often. This is the Curtis Knives ODT. It's about the size of a dog tag. It's a little tiny chunky frame lock that's kind of like got like a chisel, not a chisel ground blade, but a chisel looking blade. Spyderco Para 3 Maximate. This knife gets carried just as much as the Shaman. It's probably, number one is probably between the Para 3 and the Shaman. My Spyderco Bug Out, or I'm sorry, Spyderco Bug Out. So many Spydercos in here. My Benchmade Bug Out that has the Flytanium scales and all the Flytanium hardware and the Flytanium axis bar and blah, blah, blah. That one definitely gets carried a lot. The Manix 2 doesn't get carried as much as it used to, but it definitely still gets carried. It's outfitted with the Flytanium cage. Love that knife. It's also got the Putnam scales and the MXG deep carry clip, which is also on the Para 3 and the PM2. And then last but not least, we have the Microtech SOCOM Elite. This guy does not get carried very much, but it was a gift from my wife. I will never, ever, ever sell it, and so it does get carried every now and then. Next drawer. These are knives that don't get carried nearly as often as the first drawer, but they do still get carried and used. I think literally every single one of these were gifts. Every single one of these knives were gifts from other people. Yet another gift from Jeff. This is the ProTech Strider SNG. It's actually number, can we see? I wonder, number 2 of 40. I wonder if we can get that in the light there. I could not believe that. This is such an amazing automatic knife. Full titanium construction. It's got the pearl button there, the pearl firing button. Centered. It's big and thick and chunky and heavy, and it's about the same size as a Strider SNG. It's just a little bit thinner on the blade. Nice tumbling finish there, 154 cm. Love this knife. That was a very, very generous gift from Jeff. Next up, we have the PMP Revenge, which was a gift from my buddy Harry, or Shaker MT, down in the comment section. This knife gets carried almost as much. It was in like it's actually carried more than some of the knives up here in the top. But you know what the second drawer represents now is actually different than what it used to. So that's weird. Like the PMP gets carried more than the SOCOM Elite, more than the Lion Steel TRE, but you know, probably now more than the Mannix. But it's just in the second drawer. It's always kind of been down there. But I love this knife. Awesome knife. Next up, a gift from my buddy David. This is the 3/4 Quaken, the Beg Steelcraft Series 3/4 Quaken, made by Riot. Love this knife, ridiculously smooth, titanium and carbon fiber inlays. Doesn't get carried very much, but I love that knife. This is the Tepe Designs Hornet. This was another gift from Shaker. Absolutely amazing knife. Doesn't get carried very much, but I do like to get it out and play with it every now and then. Very, very smooth. N690 blade and titanium construction. This was a gift from Greg Geckel at Quest Custom Knives. He built me this and had me review it alongside Jeff's. He had the Gentleman's Warncliffe. This is the Gentleman's Spear Point. And then he just gave it to me. Amazing gift. This is a very expensive custom knife, and I use it, but I kind of baby it. So it's got a few marks on it. It doesn't get used that much. Next up, another gift from Jeff. This is the Red Horse Knives Chopper. This is a big, thick titanium frame lock. 187,000 stock thick blade and same thickness on the titanium. This guy does get used. It gets thrown around outside quite a bit. Not quite as much as my Rat. Still got a little bit of lock stick, but it's loosening up. That thing is a beast. It's basically an outdoor-only knife. It's a very expensive outdoor-only knife, but I love that thing. And then last, another gift from Shaker. This is the Kaiser XL Sheepdog. This doesn't get used very much, but it does it gets played with all the time because the blade is just ridiculous. 154 cm, G10, and steel liners, just like a giant cleaver folding knife. Love this thing. Really cool. Next drawer is kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. There are some knives. There's some less expensive knives in here. I'm trying not to pull this out all the way so it doesn't fall. There's some less expensive knives in here, and then there's also just some knives that are in here because I don't have room for them anywhere else. I have another gift, a gift from a viewer. This is the Blur. It was actually my very first Blur. If you guys remember the video where I said the knife that broke me was a Tanto Blur with a serrated edge, and then I lost it, and I had a viewer buy me one. It was so amazing. So that guy gets used. Then I have my wife's. This was actually my gift to my wife a long time ago. This is an S30V Blur, which she sometimes carries. It's in here because I found it in her old purse because she got a new purse, and I was like, you didn't put your knife in your new purse? And she's like, oh, this was just yesterday. So I was like, I'll put it with my stuff for now, and then I'll give it to you after work. Then we have, of course, the Rainbow Lady of the Sea. This is just where she chooses to sit. I don't really get to choose. She has complete control over this domain. So this is where she's choosing to lay right now. We have the Civivi Backlash, which was a gift from a viewer named Ken. He donated to the channel. You guys know, if you watched my quest for the perfect budget knife series, that this was my conclusion of the very best budget knife that exists right now. Fantastic. Kaiser Doman. This was a recent acquisition. Somebody pointed it out to me, and I really like this knife. I haven't reviewed it yet. I need to. N690 and G10 and stainless steel. Love it. The Cold Steel Tough Light. This knife gets used all the time. All the time. Absolutely 100%. This is a user. I just realized something that I am missing. I do not know where it is. Maybe it's in a drawer. My the rat. I have no idea where my rat is. Anyways, these two you guys probably remember from the last one. These are both the Ozark Trail knives. That's the black flipper and the green knife. That's literally what they're called. They get used every now and then. It's kind of like if I need something real quick, just make a cut. This was a gift from Chris Gonzalez. It's just a little buck slip joint. Not going to try and do that with one hand. We have the one of my most hated knives, the Smith & Wesson Extreme Ops Rescue Black Tanta, whatever. I do not like that knife. I have 2 videos on it. Another knife that I'm not overly fond of, the Gerber flat iron. It actually does get used outside, and you know, the more I use it, the more I'm like, I gave that a negative review, but it really does stand up. It hasn't been used that hard, but it stands up okay. A knife that we still have not got to. This is actually It's not mine. This is actually on loan from David. It is a very mysterious leverletto, and I don't know anything about it. And I just, for like over a year have had this and have not touched on it. We will at some point. This is the Essie Azula, still in its sheath. I'm not going to try to pop that off because I've only got one hand. And of course I have an Opinel number 8 in here. So those just kind of sit in there. Some of them get used, some of them don't. Next drawer is a little bit of the same, though. This is where my XM stays. It does get carried. It's actually being carried today. I'm out of the honeymoon phase, so I'm really happy about that. For those of you who don't know, this is the knife that I call Excalibur. This is my very favorite folding knife of all time. Full titanium, standard thickness, Gen 6 XM18, 3.5 inch in 20 CV. It's got the tri-way pivot system, so it's currently running on bearings. And then I have a textured titanium scale upgrade. Absolutely love this knife. It is wonderful, and it will do the job. We have the Pocket Bushman from Cold Steel. This was a gift from Chris Gonzalez. We have not reviewed that one yet. We will. There's my rat. We have a Rough Rider, a very plain Jane little Rough Rider slip joint. That was a promotional item that came with my Microtech that I recently unboxed. We, of course, have the Rat 1 in D2 steel. This knife gets used all the time in my backyard. Plenty of wear and tear on that guy. We have a a Kershaw knife that was also a promotional item. I cannot remember the name of it, but there's the model number 1490. Came as a promotional item with the Microtech. Very, very cheapy, but it's, still fairly impressive construction. We have the Yobotool Silverback, which is far and away the most impressive in Yobotool's line. We have not reviewed this guy yet, but rest assured we will be taking a look at that. So what else is in here? Well, it's kind of the same as the last time. One of my strops, it's worn out. I've got another one actually right over there that'll replace it. Sometimes you get those as promotional items from USA Made Blade. So that's in there. We have apparently some handle screws for the XM18, some broken G10 scales for my Manix when I did that video about G10 versus Grivery or FRN. We have the original scales to the Bug Out sitting in here. I think they're both near my old PM2 scales and the Hinderer scales. I don't know what this is. Navy knife. It must have come with one of my other, one of my old GEC 15s. And then the thing that came with the Hinderer scale. Moving that, oh, we forgot this guy. I gotta put that back in there. Moving on to the next drawer. This is just kind of random stuff. My old calipers, the box of the Lion Steel. There's one of those Allen wrenches. My old driver set, both of them, and I still use those from time to time if I have a free spinning pivot and I need to have another driver and some bits in there. The pennies that I used to use to take my Hinderer apart. Case for a retro, I think it's a torpedo pen, but that's at work. We have this that I ordered on accident. It's a whetstone, and I didn't mean to order it, but it's in there. We have this case which actually contains my very first folding knife ever. This is the Camillus. It's a very old Camillus. It was my grandpa's and then my dad's, and now it's mine. So it's retired and it stays right there. A lot of people have been asking me to like restore it, and yeah, I don't know, maybe that would be an interesting video to do at some point. And I have some red Loctite. I always keep that handy. Next drawer. This is always the funny one. All my hardware that I keep all of my hardware. Tri-way, other tri-way pivot system stuff. The clip for the Bug Out. More tri-way stuff. Pivot screws, handle screws, stabilizer screws. There's the old Manix 2 cage. There's extra, like a whole bunch of like extra handle screws that I got from that knife supplier website. More XM handle screws, Spyderco clips. There's a Cold Steel clip, MXG bags. I just keep all this stuff. There's a pivot for anybody need a spare pivot for a Chavez 228 mid-tech? You can have it. I don't know why it's in there. It looks like some Chicago screws for the Hinderer there. Tons and tons and tons of hardware. I do not like losing a screw or stripping a screw and not having a backup. So all that stuff is in there. I have screws for everything. This final drawer is just like stuff. It's stuff that there's my I forget that. I think this is the Carver Damascene I can't remember what this is called. But this was a gift from Jeff. Bottle opener. I carry this almost exclusively to weddings or like to church. It's got the Timascus pocket clips, little bottle opener. I love this thing. That is like my fancy carry, my conversation piece. Got some stickers in here. I've got an old money clip. I can't remember where I got that. And then I've got more stickers, little tape measure, some of the my rings, you know, like this is my actual wedding ring, which I don't know if I've shown this. It's rose gold and Damascus, and then the outer parts are zirconium. But I don't want to scratch knives while I'm reviewing them, so I keep it in there, and I wear one of these rubber ones. Sharpies, some pens, there's a bottle opener and a Nuck, my watch, another bottle of Break Free CLP, there's a mini screwdriver, another amazing copper flamed pen from Jeff. I use this one a lot when I'm like taking notes or writing stuff down before I do like a top 10 video. I just kind of leave that one there. The Hinderer Armorer's tool. Love this thing. Don't use as much as I used to, but I definitely like having it because I like to be able to take the Hinderer apart really easily. So I've got those. And then I've got this saw guy that came as a promotional item when I bought the Microtech. I haven't opened it up yet. We haven't looked at it yet. This is the steel wheel tenon, and it's in the box because I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. How do I get this open? This was this was a gift actually from Chris Gonzalez. Love this knife. It's one of my favorite budget knives ever. I'm just not 100% sure what I'm going to do with it yet. So that one's hanging out right there. We have the two knives that I'm going to be doing giveaways on. This is the Giant Mouse Clyde in LMAX and micarta. And then we also have the Mazarine Nimrod in carbon fiber and M390. The Clyde was donated by Spirited Whiskey, and the Mazarine Nimrod was donated by Shaker MT. Both of those, the moment that I hit 85 patrons, I'll be doing a free to enter giveaway for everybody, not just patrons, literally everybody. So it's like I say sometimes in videos, if you've been enjoying my content and you'd like to help support my channel, you can go and be one of those supporters, help me reach my goal. And you know, at the same time, there's exclusive content on Patreon. We have kind of a little community going there too. So if you'd like to be a part of that, you know, you can get your hands on a sticker at one of the lower tiers. So if you'd like to join, you can. The support would mean the world to me. Then we have my Hinderer box for the current Hinderer. There's nothing in there. And then we have the other Hinderer, which is actually not mine. This is David's. This is the one I was talking about that is his vintage series knife on the live stream. So that one kind of sits up there. And then we have my new Microtech, which I'm going to try to unzip this with one hand and try not to drop it. Jeff was kind enough to give me a case for one of his custom Microtechs. This did not come with it. My Microtech is not a custom, it's a signature series, so it just came with a regular box, but it's cool because it kind of has the same logo in it. I don't know, I just really like it. My Microtech Combat Troodon Hellhound. So I'm very excited about that. Guys, I think that is literally every single knife that I own. Like I said, if you like the look of this box, there's an Amazon affiliate link down in the description you can use to pick yourself up the box, as well as a lot of the knives you just saw are also sorted down there, so you can pick those up. That's every single knife in my collection, guys. That's everything that I own. A lot of people are always like, I'm surprised you don't own more. I will do more updates of these collection videos, and I'm sure my collection will continue to expand as this channel grows. But thanks so much for all your support. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, or at least were entertained by it. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on this Metal Complex logo right here and subscribe, because there's definitely more content coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.